in content life cycle, which includes content creations, and then contents, for example, content sharing, ya, mungkin juga di situ acquisitions, ya, what else? Maybe preservations of digital contents, ya, dan lain-lain lagi, ya. So we can consider that as many element, ya, involved in content life cycle management, daripada A to Z, which mean daripada dia bond document into preserve and retaining the termasuk juga kita buat weeding dan sebagainya, ya. Okay, and it is a collaborative process, ya, collaborative process. But before we proceed, ya, to the next slides, yang ini saya dah present ke belum tajuk ni?
Belum lagi rasanya, Doktor.
Belum, ya? Okay. Okay, so this process, ya, digital content ini sebenarnya dia meliputi proses yang kita panggil content management. Ya, this is the content management. Ya, content management activity normally align, ya, with digital content. So apa dia content management? Apa yang di manage? Actually the digital contents, which mean the digital collections, ya, for digital library, for example, or it can be digital content for repository. Yeah, okay, and it's involved collaborative process which required different parties, yeah, different parties in creating. Of course, they are the author or creator, and then publish, ya, juga dia melibatkan orang lain, and then the gateway, ya, juga ada orang lain, ya, that in charge of the gateway. Gateway normally the library itself as a gateway, ya, a library or information agencies, ya, and then what else? Maybe the distribution channel, ya. There are variety, or various stakeholders, ya, in this collaborative process. Digital content is any content that created, accessed, shared, used, or preserved in digital form. Yeah? As this process exists in physical information such as books in the library, yeah, digital contents basically use the same concepts, yeah, yang mana mereka juga create, access, shared, use, and preserve, the information, but in digital forms. And nowadays, yeah, this situation has changed, the way that we interact with one another. Yeah? And in our world nowadays, user, especially user, kita semua ni demand a new delivery models, for whether for communities, for business, for government, for education, dan banyak lagi, and we require a different models, which mean as an information provider, we need to provide information in various media and various communications channels. For example, as we have the pandemic nowadays, dengan pandemic COVID-19, kita dah tukar, the way that we interact, especially in having our online classes, for example, and then we did apa contohnya, kita ada webinar, and begitu juga dengan library services. Library services, they need to create a new invention or innovation to deliver their information packages for the end user. Okay, digital contents initiative. What are the determinants? What are the determinants or factor that influence digital content initiative. Number one, due to economic transformation. As we know that business and corporate world nowadays, they requires information, very complex informations for their decision making process. Dan kadang-kadang mereka perlukan maklumat itu dengan cepat, very fast and accurate, especially for decision making. That's why in economic transformation, this is how or when human invents so-called data science fields, data science ataupun data scientist yang memberi manfaat dalam memberikan or assist them in decision making process. So actually due to economic transformation. Why? Because of the changes of the communities, changes of trend, the modern trend, and of course due to technology advancement. Dan yang paling penting di sini bagaimana sesebuah perniagaan, it could be organization, or it could be business corporations, or sometimes we can refer this as a country, country, different continents dan sebagainya. So we compete each other. Dalam ekonomi, teori ekonomi, dia ada competitors. So due to competitors, so normally business will look at the most efficient way in their business activity. So in this case, please relate it with the use of informations. And most business, most company nowadays, they invest in digital content, and this will actually embark publisher to more or focus more on digital content, and this is the trend nowadays, the industry. And if you refer to the statistic, last year's statistic, most country actually total as a cumulative, they spend about 50 billion per year in or investing in digital content industry. Ini secara kumulatif. Ini pada tahun lepas statistiknya. 50 billion USD in digital contents activity or industry. Ini termasuk offer and offering and demands, maknanya proses ada acquisition dan juga pembelian di situ. And at the same time, for some community, they digitize their heritage material. We digitize to preserve our heritage, our national heritage. Contohnya kalau di Malaysia ini masih kurang. Tetapi di setengah negara lain, especially developed country, they digitize because to preserve their heritage, national heritage, and at the same time they want their society or their citizen to know about their history. So memandangkan maklumat-maklumat sejarah ini yang mempunyai nilai sejarah ini, dia very fragile, they are unique and sometimes valuable. Jadi mereka digitize untuk memudahkan ia dikongsi kepada masyarakat awam, masyarakat ataupun rakyat bagi negara tersebut. So we digitize because of to preserve our so-called national heritage. Setengah negara memang banyak buat ni, terutama di negara-negara maju. And finally, digital content initiative actually influence the culture to share information with the wider audiences. For example, by using digital books, kita dapat share lebih pelanggan ataupun pengguna compared to physical books. If you refer this to the library situations, so the scopes of services, it can be wider lah, due to introductions the introductions of digital content initiative. All right, so this is the role, the basic roles and responsibilities in digitization process. All right, let's go through one by one. Okay, can you see the descriptions? Yeah. You see the description? Boleh, yang di bawah.
Boleh.
Alright. In content management process, it consists of the following roles and responsibility. Number one is kita bermula daripada bawah as a creator. So who is the creator? Digital content creator responsible for creating and editing the content. So creator di sini bukan bermaksud menyediakan teks sahaja, which mean the information content, but creator in this role dia juga repackage the information. For example, by analyzing several documents or publication, dia mapkan ke dalam satu poster ataupun ke dalam satu kita panggil pamphlet contohnya, dan dia dengan kreatifnya dia menggunakan graphical design to for example to create infographic that representing the information. So itu juga we can consider as a creator, creator of digital content. Jadi this is creator, not the author. Author itu berbeza. Author totally berbeza lah. Creator ini dia lebih kepada mungkin dia mengumpul, dia compile, dia analyze information, dia compile, and using his or her creativity, they translate those information into another or into a digital content. Can be in format macam-macam lah. Sekarang ni kita tengok poster, mungkin there's animation, video dan sebagainya as material or collections of information, but in digital forms. Okay, number two, editor, which responsible for tuning the content, message, and the style of delivery, including translations and localization. So same as editing work or editor in books, for example, in digital content, editor roles is to dia lebih kepada fine tuning the information presented to the user, and sometimes by providing translation to the video, dia ada translation, kadang-kadang dia ada localization, which mean personalization of the services, but then for specific user only. As a user, we may request to personalize our informations depends on our preferences. For example, for business community, there are some kinds of informations standards. Begitu juga untuk students, untuk researcher, mereka ada maklumat-maklumat ataupun display yang berbeza pertaining to their locality. And then yes, the style of delivery juga influenced by this. Okay, next, publisher, which responsible for releasing the contents for use. Publisher ini bukan macam publisher buku, tetapi for example, if you refer to the webs, so the web publisher, who will be the web publisher? Dia boleh jadi system administrator, or it can be the organization that owns the website or the portal, for example. So publisher ini apa peranan dia? Dia publish or release the content for the end user. Number four, administrator, responsible for managing access permission for folders and files, usually accomplished by assigning access rights to user groups, or based on their roles. So administrator ini juga kadang-kadang berperanan to assist user on how to use or how to search information, digital information especially. So dia adalah admins, system admin for example, if you refer to the system, then dia adalah system admin. And finally consumer, consumer which also refers as user, a customer, or guest, is the person who reads or take advantage or take the in content after being published or shared. So this is the end user. Consumer di sini adalah the end user. Alright. Each member of the content creations or content creator review process has a unique role and sets of responsibility which totally differently, they're different from each segment, and in the process of developments and publications of the content. Okay, so setiap satunya ini memainkan peranan yang sangat berbeza, dan dia tidak bertindih antara satu dengan yang lain apabila kita bercakap tentang peranan yang ada di dalam tadi saya nyatakan di sini, the first slide is a collaborative process which involve many parties. At least there are 5 parties involved in create, yang di sini tadi kenyataannya, create, access, share, use, preserve, the digital information. But again, it depends on each profile, sebagai creator, editor, publisher, illustrator, or consumer. Alright, now ask yourself, please ask yourself, dalam struktur ini agaknya you berada di mana? If you refer to yourself now. Yes, anybody? Anyone? Anyone?
Consumer kot, sir.
Consumer. Ya. Siapa jawab tu? Zuraidah ke?
Aziza.
Aziza. Okay, consumer. Kenapa consumer? Because kenapa? Aziza.
Sebab saya still guna bahan orang lain. Maksudnya saya tak create lagi saya punya, macam mana saya nak cakap, alamak.
Your own content.
Yes, saya tak boleh nak create lagi content saya sendiri, so saya refer content orang lain.
Baik, so consumer is the most basic role in this structure. Sebab itu kita susun dalam bentuk piramid, consumer itu di atas dan peranannya adalah sedikit. Dia punya peranan adalah sedikit ataupun kecil. Sebab apa? Dia consume. They just consume, they search, consume and accept the information. But somehow, if you notice, you juga adalah content creator. Content creator. Especially contohnya bila you buat satu assignment, sekarang ni semua dalam bentuk ODL, you hasilkan satu assignment ataupun project in digital, maybe PDF you convert, and then you post ke dalam, contohnya ke dalam portal, ke dalam social media, mungkin ada yang share dalam Facebook dan sebagainya, and those assignment can be could be referred by other parties, by other student for example, for maybe junior you sebagainya. So itu juga adalah content creator. Content creator. Okay, kalau dalam kelas kita ni, kita menunjukkan situasinya adalah saya rekodkan video ini dan saya share saja ke dalam YouTube channel. Dan yang menggunakan itu bukan sahaja you, tetapi ada juga pelajar daripada kelas lain contohnya. So itu juga adalah content creator. ya, content creator. So ini yang paling dekat lah, ya, maknanya you adalah consumer and at the same time you will be the creator, ya. But the creator dia major role, they play a major role in digital content works lah. Ya. Alright, any question pertaining to this roles diagram, ya, roles and responsibilities diagram? Tak ada?
So far okay, Doktor.
Alright. Okay, now digital content developments. Digital content development. As we know that building a digital library is expensive and resource intensive. If you remember the last 2 weeks, apa yang Cik Syed cakap? How much the library spend? The library spend in digital library initiative. Ingat tak? Berapa harga scanner yang dia beli? Contohnya.
Million, Doktor.
It requires million, to have a comprehensive comprehensive and complete so-called equipment in digital content development or digital library initiative. Jadi dia sangat mahal. Therefore, it's involve careful planning, so that this initiative is capable to achieve its goal. Jadi you kena listkan objektif tu dan apa yang perlu dicapai. So inilah yang saya tekankan dalam you punya projek itu. Dalam projek itu you kena melihat kepada apa agaknya pengorbanan ataupun contributions yang you boleh buat daripada projek ini, and you need to justify, and this justification can be used for to convince the top management of the organisation. Kenapa? Sebab tadi dia melibatkan kos dan dia sangat kompleks prosesnya. Dan kadang-kadang kos itu bukan dalam masa yang singkat untuk kita dapatkan grant, dan selepas dapat the positive or the benefits or the advantage of using digital content ni can't be measure their effects immediately. They akan, of course, they need a longer time in measuring the impacts and to have an impact for the organization. Digital content development is the process of evaluating what is published and making purchasing recommendation based on this evaluation. Alright, digital content sometimes doesn't mean that you need to produce or create the information or digital information ni by your own, tetapi juga you mungkin menilai ataupun you membeli daripada orang lain, daripada sumber lain ataupun publisher lain. Therefore, you need to evaluate, you need to evaluate apa yang being published. You need to analyze the trends, the industry, the trend, the user demands before decided to purchase, to purchase or to recommend purchase recommendations. Jadi kena menilai, dia tidak boleh simply you beli sahaja, tetapi you kena kaji apakah keperluan pengguna. Ini ada dalam project brief for your group projects. The basic concepts of collection development remain the same regardless of resource format. So the concept of collection development ini actually sama, same as in physical library collections. Definitely they will use the same concept. Siapa yang akan gunakan, apa segmennya, maklumat yang bagaimana yang terkini, apa formatnya, basically still the same, but the formats itself, the format that makes the difference. And most valuable and unique collection to user. And you need to identify what are the most valuable and unique collections to the user. And I believe you already embedded this, embed yang ini di dalam you punya project brief for your group project. Jadi rasanya ini jelas dalam slide ini apa yang diterangkan saya harap boleh you address di dalam assignment group project yang sedang you buat itu. Okay, this is the principles of digital library developments by McCrae, Gallagher and Flanick, which actually beats all information ini ataupun maklumat ini a bit outdated, but then still significant. It's still significant for digital library development nowadays. So ada 10 nanti you boleh dapatkan daripada artikel ini. Dari artikel ataupun you may download the article from our folder di your future itu. Okay, so let's read in brief. Pertamanya, expect change. In digital library development, you must expect the change. Why change? Maybe due to influence in many factors. For example, political influence. Political influence, the change of government, maybe they change their strategic directions. Strategic direction itu berubah. Kadang-kadang due to management change, management philosophy change, or due to budget, due to trend, current trend contohnya, ataupun focus, the focus of the community. And if you realize that Malaysia, for example, in this year 2021, our government has shifted from relies more on teknologi robotik, teknologi ICT. Pada tahun ini our focus adalah kepada apa dia agaknya, siapa tahu? We focus on the food security industry. So pada tahun ini Malaysia lebih fokus kepada food industry, food security industry, iaitu kita di Malaysia ini mengutamakannya food security. Food security ni maknanya bekalan makanan lah yang dihasilkan oleh negara, di dalam negara. Jadi secara tak langsung dia mengubah keperluan maklumat pengguna, keperluan maklumat masyarakat kepada maklumat berbentuk apakah industri food security itu, apa komponen-komponennya, apa ciri-cirinya, kajian-kajian semua merujuk kepada industri tersebut. In fact, if you notice, UiTM juga dalam rancangan Malaysia ke-12 ini telah memberikan tumpuan yang lebih dalam industri ini, food security industry. So a lot of research and innovation actually focus on the topics, the food security topics. Alright, number 2, know your content. To invest on something, to invest on specific topic, you should know what topics that's popularly demanded by the user. Ramai yang nak baca, apa maklumat that currently in your library or your institution, so you kena tahu apakah kontennya, and you need to know the types of information needed. Adakah dia untuk researcher, for leisure, for research and development activities, for learning, learning and teaching process dan sebagainya. Number 3, involve the right people. So involve the right people. If you refer to our diagram just now, siapa yang terlibat di sini, especially this part, administrator, publisher, editor and creator. So this is the 4 component or the 4 roles you actually adalah you punya contributor. Contributor ataupun kita panggil juga sebagai information provider. So siapa agaknya yang terlibat, apa kemahiran yang perlu ada, semua perlu di-highlight di situ. Number 4, design usable system, and we had discussed this. The information system should have the heterogeneity, and then what else, dia kena ada compatible, compatible lagi, apa dia? Dia mesti user friendly, ya. Then what else? Siapa ingat lagi yang itu? Sistem dia mestilah
interoperable, Doktor.
yes,
In terms of interoperability.
yes, ya, interoperability, which means you boleh gunakan sistem dalam pelbagai platform ataupun devices, ya, able to communicate with other language, ya, system language as well. Ya. And then ensure open access. Ya, open access. Apa dia open access? What is open access? Yeah. Currently, if you refer to online databases services, ada yang bersifat money oriented, dia profit makings with money oriented, that we normally call this as fee based, fee based services. Fee maknanya perkhidmatan tu berbayar, secara berbayar, kena membayar yuran. But there's also open source, open access. Open access yang percuma, di sini is free. We call this as free base services, perkhidmatan yang percuma. So sekarang ini, alhamdulillah, if you notice that there are several databases that's index, Scopus index, which means being peer reviewed by experts and certified by certain bodies and acknowledged by academicians, especially expert, dan university. Walaupun dia percuma tetapi dia adalah index, dia adalah index, trustable, dan dia kata trustworthy lah, trustworthiness dia very high, and we call this as academic lah, for suitable for academics journal. Jadi as the information provider, of course we need open access, open access, which mean free lah, yang free. But as a user pun sama, mereka perlukan yang free. As a writer, contohnya saya sebagai penyelidik dan saya juga menulis, saya akan sukalah bila orang lain menggunakan membaca artikel ataupun hasil penyelidikan yang saya jalankan. So that's why nowadays amongst academician we prefer to publish in open access information or journal, journal especially dia open access. Tetapi di sini ada juga kadang-kadang yang mereka ni minta donation lah untuk perkhidmatan lain. Okay, number 6, data rights, data rights. Okay, for data rights, please relate this with intellectual property, with IP right. So IP rights ni berkaitan juga copyright, berkaitan patent, apa lagi? Juga di sini apa yang lebih penting adalah data pengguna itu. Once you subscribe to certain databases, or certain database, you need to fill up your profile, for example, staff profile, in order for the publisher to grant an access to the database, to digital library. Tetapi isu dia adalah adakah data yang you ada itu selamat? Data mengenai diri you selamat bila diletakkan di dalam ataupun dipegang oleh data di server di negara lain contohnya. So that's another issue. You should put that in your policies. You need to study that. 7, automate whenever possible. So I believe number 7 nowadays, most information provider, especially journal, kebanyakannya semua sudah automatic, tidak ada lagi manual, which means you need to request from the counter or from the librarian to download the document, but everything now direct to the provider server, to their server. Number 8, adopts and adhere to standards. Okay, in this case, the most accepted standards in information transmission Ya, information transmission. Siapa ingat apa dia standard yang kita gunakan dalam information transmission process? Which includes exchange of informations or data. Apa agaknya standard dia?
Yang macam Dublin Core Mark tu ke doktor?
Itu bukan exchange standard.
Masalah.
Itu juga standard. Saya memang nak tanya lepas ni. Yang betul itu adalah standard, tetapi dia lebih kepada data organization, data descriptions, ya, descriptions of information. Kita gunakan metadata standard, for example Dublin Core, TI, ya. Itu adalah untuk metadata standard. Tetapi di sini juga ada standard lain yang you perlu patuhi, iaitu standards for information exchange or information transmissions. Siapa yang boleh jawab? Apa agaknya standardnya tu? I'm sure that you know these standards. Anybody? Oops. Ada? Tak ada? Tahu tak tahu? Okay. Have you ever heard about Z39.5?
Yes, sir.
Yes, doktor.
Yeah, so Z39.5 juga adalah standards that normally be used in digital library or digital content development, which mean standard ini digunakan untuk menentukan formats, menentukan size, menentukan technical requirements for you to transmit and share informations on the net or through network. Ya. So bila berkaitan dengan server and clients, berkaitan dengan networking which include internet, for example, of course, selain daripada metadata standards yang lebih kepada kandungan maklumat, we need Z39.5 standard for transmissions process or transmitting activity. Alright, so ingat yang ini ya. Number 9, ensure quality. So quality which mean walaupun you transfer menggunakan contohnya through network, you read the information menggunakan pelbagai jenis gadget or machine, yeah, but then the quality still the same. Yeah, the quality of the information still the same. For example, images, yeah, images ataupun audio atau video. Ya, walaupun kita gunakan pelbagai jenis software ataupun gadget untuk melihat, membaca atau menonton, kualitinya itu masih sama. Ya, masih 100%. Jika ada noise sekalipun, noise di sini bukan bising ya, noise ini bermaksud gangguan. Ya, kalau dalam networking kita rujuk sebagai noise. Noise ini adalah gangguan, dia bukannya bising. Gangguan apa? Mungkin gangguan bunyi, mungkin gangguan video, dia jadi slow, dia jadi laju. Ya, kalau gambar mungkin dia distort, mungkin dia resolution not really sharp as expected. Ya. So you must ensure that the quality lah. And finally, what has been listed by McCrae, Gallagher and Flanick, dia kata dia mestilah persistent. Ya, persistent. Persistent ini apa? What is persistence? Yeah, anybody? Apa dia persistent? Ada siapa boleh jawab? Ya, persistent ini bermaksud kesungguhan ya, ataupun kita nak kata apa ya, tahap serius bagaimana kita menyediakan perkhidmatan, menyediakan maklumat tu dengan bersungguh-sungguh. Ya. Contohnya, hari ini ada maklumat tu, besok tiba-tiba tak boleh diakses sebab pelbagai faktor. Mungkin the information tu have been removed, or sometimes due to server problems or technical problem dan sebagainya. And sometimes information provided tu dari segi konten ya, contohnya konten dia tidak begitu cantik, ya, tidak begitu bersungguh lah, ya, jadi dia tak cantik dan sekaligus dia tak menarik perhatian. Mungkin maklumatnya itu outdated, ya, outdated. Mungkin juga maklumatnya tidak penuh, dia hanya surface ataupun sebahagian sahaja. So faktor-faktor itulah sebenarnya perlu diambil kira dalam dijadikan sebagai prinsip untuk membangunkan maklumat in digital for digital library project. Okay, so basically these are the 10 principle of digital library developments according to McRae, Gallagher and Flanagan. However, this is not a standards. Yeah, this is more to recommendations or suggestions, yeah, of principle by this author. Yeah, but then there's also sumber yang lain lah, sumber yang lain yang boleh dijadikan prinsipal juga dalam pembangunan digital library. Okay, and finally, this is a concept proposed by Institutes for Museum and Library Services, IMLS, but this framework actually for museum. But if you look or study the content, it's also being used in library services. Library services, they support library as well. Jadi apa frameworknya itu dipanggil the framework of guidance for building goods collection. Frameworks of guidance for building good collection. So maklumat itu tidak ada di sini, tapi nanti saya mengharapkan untuk you browse daripada internet dan dapatkan maklumat ini. Apa agaknya framework tersebut? And it was designed to encourage organization to strategically plan their digitization project and digital library collections in hope that organization will create collections that are useful for the long term. So this is a difference between the one that proposed by the three authors just now. So in this framework, they're suitable for long-term process, long-term digital library project. And somehow apa yang dicadangkan ini dia sesuai juga untuk diintegrate ataupun disatukan dengan the existing digital collections owned by library or museum nowadays. Dia bahan dia agak panjang, tetapi nanti selepas ini you klik, you search maklumat ini. Dia dalam bentuk website dan juga printed lah, dia ada printed, tetapi di library kita tak ada untuk saya tunjukkan. Okay, so guys, that's all for today. Our discussions about the digital content, digital content, especially pertaining to the developments and the philosophy of digital content development. And as you said just now, most of us consume the informations, digital content, but then at the same time kita juga act or play roles as creator, editor, publisher or administrator of information. Dan ini secara sedar ataupun tak sedar sebenarnya memang kita buat, terutama dalam dunia social media sekarang ini, that most of us involved ataupun terlibat dalam situasi ataupun environments ini. Okay, so I believe that's all for today, folks. Alright, so any questions? Alright, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, any questions regarding your group projects?
Doktor nak tanya,
Yeah.
yang dekat dalam guideline untuk digital library proposal tu,
Yes.
ada dekat number 6 ni, doktor cakap outline the general structure of the digital library, its organisation and presentation tu macam mana tu, doktor?
Okay, kalau ini misal kata you tidak develop software ataupun tidak ada prototype. Ingat kan saya pernah kata sebelum ni, you boleh bangunkan prototype ataupun tidak. Sekiranya tidak membangunkan sebarang prototype, jadi you kena produce apa yang kita panggil logical design. Ya. Kalau prototype kita panggil physical design, which mean dia ada bentuk fizikalnya dalam bentuk software digital library. Ya, ada dia punya evidence. Tetapi kalau logical, dia lebih kepada you kena illustrate. Ya, you need to illustrate the macam mana bentuk digital library itu. Ya, apa struktur dia. Kalau misal kata di dalam bentuk portal, cuba fikirkan apa agaknya struktur bagi portal berkenaan. Ya. Sebab itu dinyatakan di situ interface. Interface bermaksud bagaimana kedudukan bagi bahan-bahan maklumat tersebut bila kita tengok dalam bentuk web page contohnya ataupun dalam portal contohnya. Okay?
So maksudnya kita nak kena tunjuk lah, maksudnya screenshot dia punya interface website tu lah, macam tu lah.
Yes. Ya. Sama ada you screenshot ataupun kalau you tak boleh nak design juga sebab di rumah contohnya you tak ada komputer dan sebagainya, you juga boleh lukiskan, illustrate. Kalau tak boleh juga tapi you boleh gunakan PowerPoint, mungkin you boleh plankan dalam PowerPoint tu, ataupun tak boleh juga you ambil contoh website yang lain. Website lain, okay, you nak buat macam ini, macam website bagi company ini untuk you punya projek. Okay?
Okay, doktor, faham. Terima
Alright.
kasih.
Okay, sama. Ada lagi yang lain?
Sir, deadline bila?
Deadline. Okay.
Yes.
Deadline, sila majukan semua, ya, termasuk saya minta you juga buat presentation kan dalam bentuk video pada hujung semester. So kalau misal kata tarikh exam contohnya, biasanya ya, tarikh exam yang pertama, ya, submission selewat-lewatnya seminggu selepas first paper of the faculty. Bila you punya first paper exam? Hujung Januari ke first weeks of February? Ingat tak?
Tak ingat, sir.
Tak ingat. Okay, approximately 1 month from now. Ya, plus minus 1 month from now. Tapi biasanya sebab bagi semester ini mungkin ada kesukaran, saya akan lanjutkan, tetapi jangan lewat daripada seminggu sebelum tarikh key in markah itu ditutup. Boleh? Jadi siapa kita anggarkan di sini adalah pada minggu pertama bulan Februari. Ya, minggu pertama Februari. So dalam sebulan lah dari sekarang. Dan selepas ini juga kita tak ada kelas, kita tak ada kelas, lebih kepada consultation, dan minggu depan mungkin ada satu lagi saja kelas sebelum kita habiskanlah kita punya syllabus, dan lebih kepada bentuk discussion saja. Okey. Ada lagi? Ya, Yasmin, tak ada? Baik.
Sir,
Ya.
uh,
Hmm.
I want to ask about the metadata, the complete metadata that written for the prototype.
Okay.
It's that should 20 up to 30 complete metadata.
No, actually the collections. This is for prototype, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. For the prototype, which means your prototype should consist or store at least 20 file.
It should be include the PDF version. I mean the book in digital version, sir.
Yes, it's up to you. It's up to you, and it depends on your collections. Yeah, maybe you want to mix between some could be PDF, and then maybe portion of that can be in forms of maybe audio file whatsoever. But each of these file you should spell their metadata elements. Ya, apa dia punya metadata element for each document. But I believe metadata they standards. You know, from 1 to 20 actually they use the same metadata elements. Am I right?
Right, sir.
Okay.
But actually, I'm a little bit afraid about the copyright issue, sir. So, it is it okay if we just fill the metadata? I mean, without insert the PDF or the audio.
Okay. What types of software that you intend to use for this project?
We use Slim, sir. Senayan.
Okay. But do you want to publish it on the net or just for a standalone database? If standalone, which means you don't have any intention to share in the nets, then there's should be no problem.
My group is trying to publish the server, but it's still working, sir.
Okay. All right. So you have intention to publish or share, then please look for more open informations. Yeah, more open information, which means please don't digitize. For example, kalau digitize, jangan digitize the whole books, for example. Yeah, or if you download from the websites or from any databases, please make sure that it's from open source database.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
So, presentation tu dalam bentuk apa ya?
Video saja. Tak kisah bentuk apa, MP3 ke MP4 ke, as long as okay, dalam YouTube pun boleh. Just provide me the link, if possible, state it on your reports, and then maybe you can also attach to my YouTube channel. Boleh juga. Or if you want to create your own channel, then it's up to you. Just provide me the link. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Alright.
Okay,
So,
Doktor.
jika tak ada apa lagi, itu saja. Ya, terima kasih semua. Till we meet again next week, insyaAllah. And insyaAllah next week kita akan ada lagi satu topik saja untuk kita cover before we complete our syllabus. Right. So that's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. and don't forget your attendance.
Okay, Doktor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doktor. Waalaikumsalam.
Doktor.
Yeah.